Okay. All right. So once again, thank you for joining me in our this weekly member training section, and this is will be our first lesson. Okay, for our so-called November series. Okay, so I will try my best to like every month to give different topic for members. So that's why like I say I really appreciate if some members here you can actually give me some feedback or maybe some suggestions. Right? What is the things that you want me to include in the upcoming weekly member training so that we can plan for our so-called the weekly trainings over here. Okay, so for this month, hopefully last month some members you're able to follow at 10, and if you don't understand some of the parts of the training, you are welcome to just give me a text and I'll try my best to help you out. Okay, so for this month section here, we will look into 4 different tiles trade setup. Now I have to admit that these 3 different tile setup here is more for those intermediate to advanced trader. Okay, so if you are new, if you are a beginner, if you just started to learn what is bond spread analysis and trading, probably you want to go back to the past 5 video that we have completed last month training section. Okay, we have recording in our Telegram channel. You just go back to look for a link and watch again. Now this 3 over here, like I say, is more for intermediates to advanced trader, because this requires some chart reading skill. Okay, like for example, what it means by white spread candle, what it means by spread candle, what it means by high volume, what it means by low volume. Okay, you need to know that. And definitely you need to know what is market stages. Okay, the 4 different time market stages. So we will use it a lot. Okay, in these 3 so-called strategy. Okay, if you don't really know what is the background of the counters, if you don't really know how to read some major candles, that I think is a bit difficult for you to apply this few strategy. Okay, but don't worry, if you encounter any issue, any problems, you just probably send a chat to me. I think some members, they actually do that. They snapshot the chart. Of course, in the chart there, you just put a little bit of notes over there, right? You just let me know whether the interpretation is correct or not. Okay, so from there I will try my best to help you out. Now for today's section here, we will look into shakeout patterns. Now what is shakeout pattern? It actually means is that it spot the removal of weekend holder in the uncertain market, right? So like I said, I kind of like shakeout pattern a lot. Okay, especially in like this kind of market currently. Like sometimes it's bullish, sometimes bearish, sometimes we're not sure where it's heading into. Whenever I see lots of shakeout in this kind of market condition, this is telling me that most probably this is a good sign. Okay, to at least let me know that maybe the stock will go into resistance or maybe break into resistance. Now smart money like this kind of period because this is a period that allowed them to push the price a little lower, not selling them, not with a huge volume, but in the same time they will try to do some another round of like a accumulation, right? So when they're done this accumulation, removing all the weekend holder, those impatient one, they'll push back again and subsequently go into the resistance or maybe break into resistance. Okay, nowadays lots of counters having that. I hope some members are able to follow Ching Hin. Nice shakeout and subsequently it break. Okay, 3 candles up already, I think since last Thursday, Friday, and even today up around 7%. Okay, now the next thing next we go look into is VCP setups. Okay, VCP really look into the market stages of the stocks itself, and during these market stages what is the type of patterns we're looking for. Okay, so VCP should happen in stage 1 or reaccumulation. Okay, we'll talk about that next week. So the final week we'll talk about pocket pivot, another strategy that previously I use a lot for my entry purpose, but I have to say that recently we rarely see this. Okay, the most recent one is SKB shot. Okay, SKB, I think some members able to follow. It actually goes up around like I think like 11-12%. Okay, I managed to take some profit. Now looking for another round of pullback for re-entry purpose. Okay, now for today, like I said, we're going to focus purely in shakeout patterns. I will share with you some chart using TradingView live chart. Okay, if you got questions, just let me know too. So the objective for today is that I want you to understand what is actually shakeout. Okay, and how actually smart money remove the weekend holder during this period here, and how by looking into chart itself can tell the smart money are actually still keen interested in these stocks. Okay, How to identify shakeout? I will share it in 3 simple steps. Okay, just 3 simple steps for you to recognize the shakeout patterns completed. Okay, of course, sometimes these 3 steps is easy, but yes, you need to do a lot of like practice, chart recognition, to identify it. Okay, so very important, continue to identify market stages, continue to identify, this is very important, okay, in this period here. Shakeout, you must identify support. If you fail to identify where is the major support, normally you won't able to spot shakeout. Okay, because shakeout, most of the time, it really happens right exactly below support level. Okay, so very important. If you're able to identify support level, then you're able to identify the quality type of shakeout. Now, signals to look for, okay, in these shakeout periods is also very, very important. All right. So now, what is actually a shakeout? Shakeout actually is an activity to remove weak holder from the market. Normally happen during weak and uncertain market. Okay, so for example, right now, okay, GE15, it's happening on this Saturday. Okay, so most of us still don't know, okay, who's going to win. Maybe later on, towards the Thursday, Friday, we will see some wash, okay, in the market. So maybe you will see lots of shakeout also happening this week and next week. Now, smart money push the price lower easily, okay, because due to the weak market, people's uncertain, they are not really want to hold the counters. They will try to sell, okay, and some more when they see the price drop because of what they're afraid, okay, so they will sell it first, okay, and this is giving a chance for smart money to accumulate at lower price. Weak market with price drop below support encourage weekend holder to exit their position. Okay, so like I say, most of the weekend holder, sometimes they don't like uncertainty. Okay, when the news, everything is so bad, they just want to exit from the market first, then they'll come back in later when the market is bullish. Okay, now this is market stages. I think we'll go through for the past several weeks what is actually market stages is. So now shakeout actually happened during the sideways market. Okay, you need to have some sideways, so that's why I say the support is very important. You need to really recognize the support level first, okay, before you can identify a quality shakeout. So it happened a lot in the sideways markets where most of the time it happened in first stage 1 accumulation or stage 2 reaccumulation. Okay, when you see there's a very clear support resistance. Okay, so that's why I kind of like I think Teladan, but Teladan today break early with I think around 11% currently. So the other one is PK. Okay, PK doing the second shakeout. The first one is already completed. The second I think is slightly better, okay, because the volume is reducing. I hope today it will make the completion of the shakeouts over there. Okay, the other one is CHGP. Okay, and of course there's more. Okay, we will talk about that later on. But from here, right, I would just want to share with you that most of the time shakeout happen in these 2 areas of market stages. Okay, here it will happen also of course sometimes during distribution, depending on type of distribution, right? But if let's say you notice that there's a big uptrust, high volume, then you probably want to be extra careful. Okay, normally during accumulation or reaccumulation, you tend to see more sound strength. Okay, now here is a quick conceptual map over here on how shakeout pattern looks like. Again, not all chart will move like this, but most of the time they will go through so-called these type of setups. Okay, the 3 things that will happen, okay, for the shakeout patterns. Now, most of the time, depending on the market stage or the stocks, if let's say the stock is in uptrend, the price will goes up. Okay, sometimes this is around like 20-30%. Okay, and the stock will hit certain resistance. Okay, so the resistance start when you see that it's an uptrust high volume over here. Okay, and this is telling you that maybe a growth seller is coming in, there will be a resistance coming in, price tends to change. Okay, sorry, the market stages tend to change. Okay, for example, from markup maybe to markdown, or maybe markup to sideways reaccumulation. So that's why normally if I see if the background of the stock come with a big uptrust with volume, I prefer the chart or stocks to have a shakeout. Okay, because this shows that smart money are trying to remove the seller, okay, from the resistance by creating fear in the market, and they are accumulating at a lower price. Okay, if you look into stocks like I think like Chinhin, Delanda, if I can recall, CYL, if I'm mistaken, right? They actually have a big upthrust at the left-hand side. So once this big upthrust appeared, the stocks sideways. Okay, they can break resistance because resistance got a lot of sellers. So what they do is that they'll make this shakeout over here. Okay, removing all the weak handholders before break the resistance. Okay, now probably I just share with you using real chart over here before I continue. Anyway, Scopnet's continue to move up. Let's look into Chinhin. Okay, we look into one real chart, then I'll continue from the slide. Okay, because I want to ensure that everyone understand, right, what is the market stage, how it looks like, and what is the area that you should expect, you know, the shakeouts happen. So for example here, Chinhin. Okay, prices go up. Okay, notice here, there's one kind of like a big upthrust here, another upthrust over here. So again, this is like a sign of telling you that there might be a sideways, there might be a resistance. Okay, so here pressure to break up. Okay, and we got one nice NS over here. They do a nice shakeout. Okay, this is the pierce resistance turn to support, and here's the shakeout part. Okay, before they actually break this resistance and continue on the major trend. Okay, any questions so far? Let me know. Is everyone here following so far by typing A for me? If you can follow, type A for me, please. B if no. Okay, thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jean. Thank you, Vince. Thank you, James. Okay, thank you, Han. Okay, thank you, Teng Lam. All right, so okay, now let's continue from here. Now this is example of SWS Capital. Okay, I think they are kind of currently this, because this chart here actually has a snapshot from last week, Thursday or Friday, I can't recall. But I think morning just now I checked, they are still kind of like testing, okay, somewhere around this support over here. So let's say for Shakeout Pattern, it's very important for you to identify the right support area. Okay, you can actually use the VSA 360, you know, the visual trading plan, right? So over there we actually have got support one, the potential ideal push, which is the pullback area for you to identify it. So for example, in this case over here, SWS Capital, right, we have a big break over here from first line change, second, okay, and we immediately see there's some resistance coming in. Okay, so this one down bar with increasing volume, and the bar is kind of white. Okay, so you know that this is not like a healthy pullback that, you know, we mentioned, right, previously during our weekly member training. Now for the past weekly trainings, then we do talk about the basic pullback patterns, and this is the type of the pullback that usually, you know, it will cause some failed pullback for a particular stock. Okay, because why this candle here, okay, is white and the volume is increasing. Okay, the volume is increasing. Now what happened usually is that if you notice the pressure test back, okay, we got upthrust over here. Okay, of course here we got now upthrust with increasing volume as well. So normally it will make a shakeout. Okay, this is kind of remind me like Sedania too, but Sedania got more weaknesses. Okay, Sedania got lots of weaknesses at the resistance. So what happens is that the price actually will drop, okay, below these support areas, trying to go back. Okay, and this is very crucial, right? It needs to go back up to the support area with volume. Okay, because this volume here is a signal to tell us that the smart money is still keen, okay, to support these counters. Okay, so once this happens, right, normally you will see some tests, okay, because smart money to check whether the seller still around or not, okay, before they want to go into the resistance area, okay, or maybe break the resistance like Qinghin. Okay, so this is what usually happens during shakeout. Okay, shakeout can happen in any time frame. It can be happens in daily chart, even hourly chart lots. If you look into some glove counters today, I think K plus we see a shakeout in hourly chart. I think Aventa also we able to spot a shakeout too, okay, in the hourly chart. So now let's say this is very important, okay, because this one will determine whether your so-called shakeout, you're able to identify the right shakeout or not, okay, by identify the right support level. Okay, if you fail to identify support, if you identify the wrong support level, normally you can't really identify the real shakeout areas, okay, because support area is important, okay, because this is where that you will spot some hidden potential buying or selling by smart money. Okay, so that's where the NS will appear there, the test will appear there, the spring will appear there. So okay, for example, for support, there are a few ways that usually personally I'm using it to identify it. So definitely one is the sign of strength. Okay, if I notice the area got lots of spring signals, NS, test, that's where that the support is building somewhere around there. Okay, so of course in this section here I won't really go through what is spring, what is NS, what is test. So because we already covered in Foundation 1 section, which is last Friday. Okay, if you want to, you can actually watch the video again. So the other way that I'm using it is line change. Okay, so usually line change, if let's say you notice the line change is wide, come with high volume, of course it must break from accumulation. If let's say the line change is from the continuation of the uptrend, normally this is not a good support area to use. Okay, so example, if let's say you notice now hex tag keep going up, right? I think currently it's already 16. So if suddenly you notice there's a big LC climactic volume, now you don't use that as your support anymore. Okay, because potentially this type of candle is a distribution candle. But if you notice the line change come from a sideways background, which is from reaccumulation or maybe accumulation, like Chin, I think is pretty good. So you can use the low of the LC as your potential support. Okay, if not, okay, you can use the ideal approach. Okay, the ideal approach from the dashboard, okay, to determine your support level. Okay, so let's say identify support is very important for shakeout. Okay, so of course for resistance is the opposite of support. We want to look for sign of weakness, like for example uptrust. Uptrust is the easiest one. So if you notice the area come with lots of uptrust, again there will be a resistance and there will be a shakeout. Okay, there will be a shakeout. Not to say 100% it will, but normally 80 to 90%. Whenever I see this big uptrust with increasing volume, I will expect some shakeouts happening somewhere around there. Okay, I think Pekka is one of them. Okay, later on we'll see the real chart. Okay, now high of the line change also you can use it. Okay, because usually when the price goes up climactically, okay, probably like for example this candle over here is 20%. Okay, technically at the top you will see some sellers coming in because of profit takings. Okay, so here will become a resistance. Okay, at the bottom here, because smart money trying to push the price up, it will be your support level. Okay, all right, is everyone okay so far? You understand? Type a B, yes. Type a C, no. Okay, thank you, Jin. All right, thank you, Tony. So far, okay, right? So okay, now this is again SKB chart. Anyone here following this trade SKB? Okay, this chart I think I snapshot on last Wednesday, if not mistaken, right? But anyway, it already break up already, and last I already take some profits. Okay, so waiting for another pullbacks. Okay, anyone following this trade SKB? One yes, two no. Okay, no, okay, don't worry. So okay, now by looking into this so-called charts over here, right? Can you tell me where is the right support area to look to look into? Anyone here can spot support areas for this trade, and maybe can you tell where is the potential shakeout areas? One yes, two no. Okay, now I have to admit this chart is a bit tricky. Not so easy, not so direct. Okay, because this chart seems like having several support areas, the key support areas. Looks like we have like 3 major line change, okay, or maybe 4 line change over here. So it's kind of difficult to tell. So let's say this technique here is for intermediate to advanced members. Okay, so maybe if let's say you're a bit confused about these shakeout patterns, okay, you can actually watch back, okay, the previous our weekly training, which is the October series. That one is for new member or basic techniques. Okay, NS, okay, NS over here is support. Okay, good. Okay, we got some NS over here. You can use that as a support as well. Okay, now remember in I think last week we do talk about high volume and gap up and gap down. Am I right? So if you notice over here, oh, okay, probably just use the pen here. We do. Okay, notice this is a small gap. Okay, and what happens? Okay, this gap here usually will form like a resistance. Okay, will form like a resistance. So here is the first shakeout areas, the press to push, but it failed to go, it failed to make a follow through. Okay, it failed to make a follow through. So what happens is that subsequently they drop back again, sideways, and break with increasing volume. Okay, and now they are successfully go into the next resistance. So this is the first and second shakeout areas. Okay, so let's say sometimes, yes, correct, the gap. So let's say sometimes the shakeout can happen in a very different type of way. Okay, so that's why first thing first is that you need to identify the right support area to look into. Okay, now the next one is Chin Hin. I think just now I will share with you all Chin Hin. Okay, but by now I think you should be able to identify it. So again, Chin Hin, the main one should be from here. This is the line change. Okay, we got an NS also from this level. Now the another support level that you should monitor is somewhere from here. Okay, NS line change, and previously we got some upthrust, okay, in this area here. So if you draw this line, then you know that they actually do a small shakeout in this area before they breaks out, retest, and now currently go into I think 3 something really. Okay, so going up around like 11-12%. Okay, after the shakeout completed, okay, from Chin Hin. Okay, now let's go into in more details about shakeout patterns, step by steps, how to identify it. Okay, actually just 3 simple steps. Okay, so let's say once you're able to identify the support level, okay, this 3 steps here should be quite easy for you, okay, to spot the potential shakeout trades. Okay, now first things to look into is, you know, the down bar. Okay, now what to look for in this down bar is that you want to ensure the volume is low to average. Okay, the volume is low to average. Now if you look into counters like, I think counter like Inari Dufu, the volume is pretty high. Okay, so I don't think it's a shakeout. Okay, so if, okay, let me go back to chart again. So this is where I want to share with you using real chart here. Now if you go to revenue, I didn't follow revenue today, but I think last week actually they dropped with high volume. Now this is high volume. Okay, so very important and crucial is that whenever shakeout happen, you don't want to see high volume. Let's say there's high volume on down bar. This is likely a continuation on downtrend. Okay, so the other one is Dufu. Okay, notice here, down bar, high volume, and subsequently drop further. And this volume coming back again, hopefully it will hold. The other type is, if I can share with you is, okay, let's try. Okay, I think GradTech is the easiest one. Okay, if you notice GradTech over here, okay, it didn't break support here. Okay, so here, this is the previous support area. Okay, and Penta also, we can tell into Penta. Notice when they drop below this support, the volume is average to low. Okay, this is high volume, right? This part here is high volume. So this part here is low to edge volume. Okay, and subsequently they got a chance to make a rebound. Okay, unlike revenue, Dufu, seems like they are still in the downtrend. Okay, so step one. Okay, and everyone okay so far with step one? Type A for me, yes. Type B for me, no. Okay, anyone here can identify the step one? Okay, step one, important, right? Drop below supports, the volume. Okay, one thing you need to check is the volume. So like Dofu, I'm not interested anymore. Revenue, I'm not interested anymore. Okay, because of the high volume. Now, the second things that you need to look into is the price have to trade in the range. Okay, which means once they break below this support level, you must see immediate, not to say immediate, but you know, after like a period of time, like 1 week, 2 weeks, it should have a very clear support areas again. Okay, you should be able to see a very clear support. Sometimes you do 2 tests, 3 tests before it goes back up, right? So when you see a price is trading in a very clear range. Okay, if I can recall, let me check. Let me go through one chart with you all. I think Pentec is almost ready. The volume is just so nice today. So for example here, but Pentec is a combo patterns. If you remember last week, we talked about gaps. We talked about high volume. Now this is the gap part, okay, that I shared with you all. So here, like I said, immediately you must see some obvious type of supports coming in, right? So we got one test here, second test over here. Okay, one support, two support, and the price is like trading in a range. Okay, I'm not sure, but I think dg.com also having the same things too. Okay, DG not really, DG only tested one time. Okay, somewhere around here, one shakeout. Okay, so sometimes it's a bit different, right? But normally you will see a clear range. Okay, it's happening right exactly below the support level. Okay, but yeah, let's check Aventa in hourly chart. I think we should be able to see a nice range. Okay, green pentagons ready. Okay, so hopefully my LKR and K plus follow also. Now, notice here. Okay, the price actually tested 3-4 times right here. 1, 2, 3, 4 goes back with green pentagons. Okay, we got nice retest NS. Seems like going up. Okay, anyone here in Aventa? I think Martin just now shared with you all. He traded Aventa with green pentagon this morning. Okay, now step 2. Still kind of easy to identify, right? So again, type A for me, okay. Type B for me, no. Okay, step 1, drop, low volume. Step 2, you want to see price in a range. Okay, we got an immediate supports. Okay, it's happening within this range. Okay, now the last part for shakeout patterns is when you want to see there's a completion of these shakeout patterns with high volume. Okay, which means the price drop. Okay, so this is step 1, low volume representing less seller. Okay, they're representing less sellers. Okay, the second is that you want to see a range. Why? Because you want to ensure the smart money is still interested to do some accumulation. Okay, in this part. Okay, and the third steps, the reason why we want to look for high volume, because we want to ensure smart money is ready to mark the price higher. Okay, ready to mark the price higher. So 3 simple steps, okay, for shakeout to complete this. Okay, now in summary, okay, shakeout pattern is an activity to remove weekend holder out from the market. Okay, and smart money accumulate further. Okay, in this week market, that's why the step 2 shows that. Okay, so the last step is you want to monitor the completion of shakeout. Okay, because this is to ensure that you follow the footprint of smart money. All right. So okay, now we go into some chart. Okay, and let's study few counters over here. So let's say Aventa is one of them, but now Jalan ready lah. So Jalan, I think today already up 5% ready. So normally what I do is that, again, you want to have a proper support level. Okay, so once you identify proper supports, you're able to identify shakeout. I will ensure there is a successful retest near the shakeout area, above the shakeout areas, okay, to ensure that smart money can break the resistance successfully. Okay, so there's Aventa. Next, let's look into K plus. I think K plus also having the same things too. Okay, I hope volume coming in ready. Okay, I'm holding K plus. So here, okay, notice the price goes up. Okay, sometimes in this kind of area after it goes up for sometimes they need to do pullback. Okay, or maybe they need to digest, right? So red pentagons. Okay, we do have sell off. Okay, but if you notice the volume is just average. Okay, this is high volume. This is high volume. So this is average volume, right? So after that, what happens is that the price trade in the range, and in this range, we also see mostly is average to low volume. So no further sign weakness. Of course, we don't want to enter immediately because sometimes what happens is that they will make a big down bar. Okay, big down bar. So wait for this bar to happen. Green penguin turns back. Okay, volume increasing and test. Okay, so your chances to break resistance or maybe go above resistance is higher. Okay, to compare if you trade over here, because trade during these shakeout patterns, yes, you can buy at the very so-called lower price. Okay, but it's kind of 50-50. Sometimes you can go lower, retest lower before it goes. So like Gretag, right? It really tests to the support level, the initial support level before they bounce back up again. Right. So sometimes this thing happens. Okay. Let's look into others. I think like counters like Solar West. They actually have a small shakeouts happenings recently. So if you notice here, okay, so this is like a line change area. Okay, we've got some spring NS area. You can draw this line somewhere around here. Okay, now this shakeout happened because of these things, right? We got a false breakout. Okay, again, false breakout usually is a sign of there's still sellers in the market. Okay, another round is here. Notice uptrust. So uptrust also representing there still is a seller in the market. So usually when you see this thing, right, like I say, I prefer to see a shakeout happening. Okay, because this shakeout is telling me that smart money are still keen and they are trying to remove all these weekend holders out from the market before they try to retest the resistance again. Okay, now this one, PK. Okay, I'm hoping to see a narrow shakeout is happening. So here, okay, line change high volume. Okay, let me just mark this down. Line change high volume. Okay, we got a spring. So again, easy, right? Way to identify where is your support level. So we just draw this line. Okay, now if you notice, after this line change, what happened on the next day? Okay, the next day, okay, now just probably want to ask some of you over here. Now the next day, this dow bar over here, the bar that I'm pointing right now, is this considered a white candle or narrow candle? Okay, is this considered a white candle or narrow candle? Can anyone here answer me? Okay, Teng Lam say white, Jin say white, choosing is white. Okay. How about this? Any other answer? Okay, Tony said white. Okay, yes, it's a white candle. Now, like I said, a healthy pullback setups, the next day we want to see narrow. Okay, of course, yeah, this volume is high. Okay, okay, now what is the criteria? Okay, the good criteria for pullback is that normally I like to see narrow candle and the volume is half of the line change. Now, this is more than half. Okay, so again, this is telling you that the next day, lots of people taking profits. Okay, or maybe seller is still there. So the next thing what I look into is that, okay, here, notice here we got another high volumes. Okay, so yes, they will do a shakeout. And this shakeout, if you notice, first step, volume, average. Okay, of course, I'm not interested to buy here. Sometimes it can drop lower before it range, right? So it's risky. So what I do is that I actually bought somewhere around here. It goes up, green penguin is back, volume is increasing, fantastic. So I think I enter somewhere around this pullback area over here. I think it's 87 and a half or 87 is my entry price. Okay, but too bad they drop again with red pentagon. But what I noticed is that this round the volume still low. Okay, so that's why I still hold even though it goes to 84. Okay, now seems like trying to go back to this area. So I'm hoping to see a second shakeout. Okay, so for members, if let's say you haven't entered PK yet, you watch out for the second shakeout. Okay, again, not doing any buy call, but just that. I think the second shakeout is better. Okay, because why is here, right? The first one is kind of big, not to say big, but it's slightly, wider in this range. The second one is smaller. So again, this is telling me that maybe, the smart money is gone already, right? So chances for them to break is, sorry, the weekend holder is gone. Okay, so chances for them to break is pretty high. Okay, again, just my opinions. Okay, yeah, it's kind of similar to VCP. Yeah, thank you, Teng Lam. Yes, correct. It's kind of similar to VCP too. Okay, so yeah, this setup also you can consider as like a VCP, which is we're gonna talk about it next week. Okay, now this is a few counters that I can think of, right, with the shakeout patterns. Actually got a lot, but just I cannot recall all of the counters. Again, like I said recently, really got lots of shakeout counters. Okay, just try to go through the screener and you look into the market stages, right? So here you see the first big one. They try to hold over here, drop. Notice the volume is just so low, right? Try to goes back up. Okay, hopefully you got a chance to retest. This is Toyo Venture anyway. Yeah, this is the one I got it from Coach Alif. Okay, this is NTEX. Okay, I actually trying to queue, but so far still no luck to enter at my ideal price. So here, previously we got some support building somewhere around here. It dropped, up thrust, reject, up thrust, and line change. Okay, holding well. Okay, if not mistaken, NTEX is still counted if not mistaken. I think like today, Lion Industry, all is doing pretty well. So hopefully it can break this resistance over here. Okay, so this is NTEX. Let's look into other counters like Lion. Okay, like I said, lots of shaker counters. Okay, you just need some time to study. Lion not so clear lah. Lion not so clear. Okay, but anyway, this is a nice volume. Start to break up already. Hong Seng also nice volume today, which is low volume. Okay, any other counters you think got shakeout? Just let me know. I think just now someone mentioned about Found Pack, right? Is it Found Pack? Oh yeah, I forgot. Penta and P Metal. Okay, yeah, this one haven't complete yet. Okay, but yes, for member mentioned about Found Pack, yes, I think this is more of the so-called good criteria, okay, to monitor for shakeout. So here, yes, we have sell-off. Okay, but volume is not as scary, unlike like revenue and Dufo. There's a big scary volume, right? So here it reject. Okay, now seems like they are building some range over here. Hopefully it will hold. Okay, so let's see, okay, whether the shakeout completes or not. Okay, for Found Pack, but yes, it's a shakeout, potentially a shakeout patterns. So Penta, I think Penta just now before lunch, I checked the volume is still very low. Oh, very, very low volume. Okay, very, very low volume. Okay, so now if you notice, right, previously we got one round here. Okay, a small one, a big one before they go into the resistance, the break resistance and go into the next resistance. Now this one, second one, right? Here, drop a bit. Okay, red pentagons. Volume increasing, but it's not the highest. Okay, but I kind of like when last Friday closing, right? They come with green pentagon, high volume, and today volume is very, very low. Okay, in this area over here. Okay, so that's Penta. Just now I think still got one. Yeah, P metal. I think it's P metal. Okay, so P metal. Okay, it's still very far from support. Actually, I'm aiming somewhere around 46 something. Okay, so hopefully come back to this area. Lots of spring area here. So again, drop, volume is low. Okay, they build some range. Okay, going back, increasing volume. Okay, again, that's how you get the shakeout areas. Okay, any questions so far? Or any other chart that you want me to look into that you think that maybe got a potential shakeout patterns? Okay, let's look into MPI. MPI. Okay, MPI is not a shakeout. MPI is not a shakeout. Oh, but volume from here is a bit high now. This is who? James, am I right? Okay, now this is more like a reversal pattern, right? So, but looks like they are slightly weaker than GradTech and others. So here we actually break the previous support. Okay, GradTech, Frontcan, and Penta is slightly better because they are still above this support line. Okay, here MPI they actually break lower. Okay, so today it hit the resistance. Okay, but volume is not that great. Okay, maybe you want to wait for them to retest somewhere around here with higher volume for you to I'm not sure whether you're looking for entry or exit. Okay, but usually I prefer to look for somewhere around here. Okay, any other counters to look into before we end our section here today? Okay, so again, for members, remember to always check your intraday alerts. Okay, sometimes I spot some good counters, okay, using this intraday alerts. Okay, so Opcom definitely look interesting, right? So Opcom also got a big UT, yeah. So I think they're also trying to do a shakeout here. Okay, so Opcom. Okay, previously we got this line change, NS, spring, drop, but low volume. Okay, another round, low volume also. Push it back, high volume, goes up. Uptrust. Okay, now seems like they are trying to do another round of shakeout. Okay, volume today coming back with increasing volume. So again, a good sign. Okay, a good sign. So the other one is CYL. I think CY also, oh, okay, up 9% already. Oh, sorry, this one no shakeout, but this one is a nice pullback from reaccumulation. Okay, reaccumulation looks like a VCP2 goes up, pullbacks, and volume increasing. Okay, so good sign. Okay, any other counters before we close our section here today? Okay, last one. This is KGB, right? KGB. Oh yes, KGB is a shakeout. Yeah, I think I posted this to members group yesterday, right? So here, right, line change high volume, they drop, pushing it back. Okay, notice here, not a very high volume bar, but this is kind of similar like UT bar. Okay, a resistance is forming around there. So it dropped, volume is low, right? So sideways in the range. Okay, price push back up, gap up on the closing of Friday, increasing volume. So today low volume. Okay, so yes, this is a shakeout patterns. Okay. All right, so I think if let's say there's no other questions, then I will close my section here today. So with this, thank you for joining me in this section here. So for members, if you are watching this right now or maybe later on your recording, appreciate, right, if you can spend few minutes to fill up this feedback form for me. Like I say, I'm welcome for you to give me some feedback or any other suggestions so that I can use your feedback to prepare for my upcoming weekly member training. Okay, thank you everyone, and I'll see you soon.